Hello, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. I have a little bit of a challenge for you today. I have a friend who, every time they draw a card they have difficulty with, they put it aside and draw another card. And I'd like to suggest that cards with potentially dark meanings can be opportunities for change and transformation. So let's have a look at some of those. I pulled a bunch of them out of the deck, and let's see what they can teach us. First of all, there's this one, the Four of Swords. It looks like a figure in death. It may simply be a suggestion that time to take a rest, take a time out, and things will look better in the morning. Here we have the Tower. Consider that maybe you need to build a stronger foundation. Maybe you need to not result in panic or resort to panic when things unexpected come your way. Maybe you need to be the one to shake things up when things are stagnating. Maybe you need to consider your own attitudes and perceptions about controlling your fate and or wanting to be in charge of yourself and or others. Someone might just knock that hat right off your head if you get too uppity. Maybe you're struggling with a burden. Maybe it's an opportunity to consider it's not a burden, but something you want, something you need, something you've gathered and collected. Maybe your fireplace is empty and you can fill it up with fuel to move to the next thing. Maybe you are too much in your feelings. Usually this is a heartbreak card, but maybe you're not thinking enough because your emotions are overwhelming you and clouding your vision. Maybe you need to pierce those feelings with some thoughts that will help you get to the heart of the matter, help you sort out the feelings that you have, cut away the confusion, and help you mentally focus on other things than the feelings that you happen to be stuck in at the moment. Maybe this one is not so much deceiving others and being sneaky, but making sure that you have the resources you need without being piggy about it and leaving some resources for others as well. In this one, the swords look almost like a Venetian blind, and maybe it's time to awake from your nightmare, raise the blinds, let in the light, shine a light on your dark areas and the problems that you have. Find a way to move out of the darkness and into the light. Often when I have a nightmare, I don't go back to bed right away because I'm apt to continue to fall back into that nightmare. I'll read a little bit or I'll watch TV. I'll get up and move around. I'll do something else before I go back to sleep, and that usually helps. Usually confusion resorts in conflict, and might be better to consider a best laid plan. Plan your things out in advance so that you don't struggle with confusion. Find an orderly fashion to work with others and make things happen, or make things happen for yourself by organizing yourself, making notes, being better prepared for what's ahead. Here we have a boat crossing to another shore, getting away from our troubles, but you can see we seem to be taking our troubles with us, and that's something to keep an eye out on. Those swords may just pierce the hull of your boat and have you sinking before you reach the shore. So consider what you're leaving behind, what you're taking with you. Maybe you don't need to take all your baggage with you. Maybe you need to leave some of it behind and make your way in an empty boat, taking fewer resources with you, but maybe being on a better footing when you reach the other shore. Consider the notion of those not playing fair, and open yourself up to fair play and good sportsmanship, more even-handed dealings with other people, sharing victories. Sometimes we have tough decisions to make. We're blinded to possibilities. We're between two situations, neither of which seem ideal. We're sitting in darkness, trying to figure it out, trying to sort it out. Sometimes we just need that quiet time to sit and think about it, and things will look better in the morning. Or if not the morning, the day after, or the day after that. Here's a similar idea. When dark things come your way, sometimes things die in our lives, and they have to end before we can move on. But that's okay. That's what we need to go through to learn to move on. You see here in the distance, the sun is rising gloriously. So if you're having a tough, dark time today, the sun will come out tomorrow. Or if not tomorrow, the next day or the day after that. But we need to go through these things to get there. Here we seem to be taking the moral high ground. We're defensive. But what are we defending ourselves against? Seems like there's some clouds of confusion there. Figure out if your battle is worth fighting for, and if it's a real battle, or if you're just struggling needlessly. We don't see where these wands are. They may just be sticks in the mud. They may not be held by adversaries. Consider your position. Maybe you don't need to be so defensive. Here we seem bound to fail, bound and blinded in a rut, in a bit of a bog, again surrounded by clouds of confusion. But the bounds aren't so tight. Sometimes the bounds are of our own making, the bindings, and we need to just kind of pull them off, take the mask off, look around, consider all the options and choices, think of a new plan, think of a way out. Don't become trapped in your own misery. Here, when things seem hopeless, the skies are dark, our thoughts are overwhelming us, we need to look beyond our present situation, consider the possible sunrise ahead, the brightness clearing away the dark clouds and misery. Sometimes you just need to take a rest and remember that better things are coming tomorrow or the next day. Sometimes we're left dangling on a scaffold in an uncomfortable, untenable position. And as uncomfortable as it is, sometimes we just have to go through these things and consider our options, consider different perspectives on things. Sometimes we're overwhelmed, the cup seems stacked against us, and it's just too much, and we need to walk away. It doesn't mean we're necessarily walking away from everything forever, not dealing with the issues, but maybe just a temporary stroll. We may come back in the morning and deal with this, but sometimes we need a little bit of a time out. Sometimes we get too focused on what we've lost to know what we have left or what we've gained, what our resources are that we're not even using or seeing or taking advantage of. We're so concerned about our missteps or how we've kicked over a few cups, where we've fallen, where we've failed. It's always good to turn around and see what's behind us, see what other possibilities are open to us. Often we fall victim to temptations, addictions, bad habits. They seem to have us chained in place, but often they're of our own making, and we have free will and choice to make changes and resist temptations. So anyway, these are only a few interpretations for these where you can turn around dark cards and make good lessons, good learning from these dark situations. I challenge you to give this a try. Pull out all the cards in your deck that seem to trouble and bother you and consider how you might turn them on their heads, sort of find light from darkness and turn a negative into a positive. See you soon. Good luck with that.